Hello everyone, welcome to the panel Cosplay 101. I'm here with some amazing people today. So we'll just jump right in. We're going to talk about the ways to jump into cosplay. Who am I? Well, I am Ariel, aka Air Bubbles Cosplay. You can find me at all these places: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch TV. I am much more active on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. I stream weekly on Twitch as well. I mostly play Magic the Gathering and do some cosplay work, but mostly Magic and some Guild Wars too. Big Magic fan and Destiny fan, as you can see by these cosplays. I really wanted to put this picture of the three in here to show kind of growth, that it's okay no matter where you start. The first one's from 2014 and the last one is from 2016, and that costume is still alive and kicking to this day. I'm gonna pass over the microphone to Ashley.
Ashley, aka Ashleyplaysdressup. I am most active on Instagram. I do a lot of gender bend cosplays and a lot of my own custom characters. I've been cosplaying since 2008 on and off. Yeah.
All right, next up we've got Hannah.
Hi, my name is Hannah, aka Miss.Tyo. I've been cosplaying since 2016, but costuming for a very long time. I'm most active on Instagram. That's the best place to follow the work that I'm doing. On this slide, I do like my Winifred progression. That's Winifred Sanderson from Disney's Hocus Pocus. The first photo, it was actually my first cosplay, and that first photo is from Halloween, and you can kind of see how I changed it from Halloween to competing to a competition piece, and then how it shoots 4 or 5 years later. So, yeah.
Awesome. And now Sam.
Hey, I am Sam, or Momma Sammu. I have been cosplaying since 2006, which is 14 years, and that's half of my life at this point. I wanted to show actually a photo from my very first convention dressed as Chi, which is a bot costume we got, from China, and then a progression to something that I made together with my mother while I was still learning, and then something that I designed completely from scratch on my own. And so taking the same character and, upgrading it. You can find me a lot on Instagram and Twitch. I stream fairly regularly there, and I've actually been on TikTok quite a bit as well. So.
All right. And last but not least, we have Adam.
Oh, that's me. What? Hi, I'm Adam, or Mr. Mraddup. Primarily, I post on Instagram, and I am on Facebook, Twitter, all the social medias, TikTok, all of them. What do all the kids play and do on the social medias? I do all of them. And I'm also on a Twitch stream called The Welcome In. I decided to go with some more recent cosplays and do some more recent shoots that I was in across the board, just to show that you can. I've been doing this for a long time, almost 10 years. I'm at 9 3/4, and you can really do some cool stuff with it, and you can get some crazy composition pieces like that. So yeah.
That is crazy. You know what? I know some of us said how long we've been doing it, but I forgot to say, because it just gives you an idea as we're going into this. So I'm just going to run through everyone again. So I've been doing this since 2011, I think. Ashley, how long did you say you've been doing it for?
On and off since 2008.
Okay. And Hannah?
I've been cosplaying since 2016 and sewing for over 20 years.
That's a long time. And
yeah.
And Sam, how you've been doing since you were a teenager?
Yep, since I was 14, but I forgot to mention that I'd become obsessed with ball gowns and started competing about 7 years ago.
Yeah. So we got some experience under our belts. So I promise this is coming from somewhere. We're not making it up. All right. So what is cosplay exactly? It really just stands for costume play. That is pretty much exactly what it means, just shortened. This is like a Wikipedia definition to throw out for everyone, but is the practice of dressing up as a character from a movie, book, or video game, especially one from the Japanese genres of manga and anime. There's a lot of speculation of exactly when that it started or whatnot. It's been going on for a long time, but the term was coined in 1984 at the World Science Fiction Convention. And I'm gonna jump to Sam really quick because she has a great kind of nugget of like cosplay versus costuming, because that is a question we get sometimes.
Yeah. And in general, cosplay, it's kind of an offshoot of the costuming community, which tends to focus on structure and form and making, you know, a character of your own, whereas cosplay is found its home in the hearts of nerds who want to dress up as their favorite characters, nerds, geeks, and just fandom all over. And it's really... it's a beautiful thing. And having grown up in the costuming community, I love both, but cosplay is where I've seen a lot of passion.
It's awesome. I couldn't have said it better, honestly. That's why you said it.
I tried.
I'm really awkward. I'm just gonna put it out there. We do live streaming most of the time, so hello.
Right. We got this.
All right, next up. So you want to cosplay? That's why you're here, I hope. I mean, or you just want to learn about it. Who cares? But so you want to do it. We're gonna... Yeah, that I did not write this. There we go. I have notes in front of me. I'm cheating. I'm going to throw this to Sam and Adam to really kind of talk about it, because we've got a few slides to go through and we all have things to say. So we're just going to kind of scatter in there. But yeah, so you want to cosplay.
Yes. So I mentioned before, talking about, you know, costuming, you want to have some... I see a lot of passion in cosplay, and that can be... So pick something that's a passion project, whether it's a character that you love or an original character that you want to bring to life. It can be, or, you know, maybe it's a group that you want to do with friends. That's all really, really great reasons to find the passion to cosplay.
Yeah, but you also want to make sure that no matter what costume you pick, it has to be a realistic goal. You can't make up you can't make a full-size Gundam suit. As much as it's a fantasy of all of ours, you unfortunately can't make a 75-foot tall Gundam. So I know everybody's sad in the chat, but like, it's true. But so you have to set some realistic goals.
And it's make sure, and on those realistic goals, don't get into cosplay because you saw this someone, you know, hey, they cosplay and they're really famous and they get a lot of attention. That's not a reason to start cosplaying. Cosplay because you want to do it, not to get fame. It's a whole lot more fun that way.
And on that note, keep it fun. Cosplay should be fun. It should be exciting. It should be something that you look forward to. It should never be something that you dread doing. And you should be doing it for the fun reasons, because fun is the best. Am I right?
Yeah. And the most fun about it is that you can do it with friends. Like, find a group of people that you can... Sometimes it doesn't matter as much who you're cosplaying as or what you're dressed as, but the people that you are around. I've had conventions where it's like, yeah, this is my favorite character, but I love all the people that I'm with, so I had the best time.
And trust me when I say this, I think all of us have experienced it. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, because seriously, if you have to get something done, if you feel obligated to, don't put all that pressure. Take it easy. Again, as we've said before, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to have fun.
We're here to enjoy ourselves because we're nerds that want to find other nerd friends and do the nerdy things together.
Exactly. And there's one more point, but I think Ariel, you wanna get this point across?
Oh yeah, let me shout this. Sorry. Do not spend more than you can afford. Eating is important, and so is rent and bills. I cannot say how many people I've run into this with. So I will feed you a sandwich or shove it in your face if you're not eating. But don't rely on me.
It's a seriously good point. Like, if you can't afford to cosplay, it's not a priority.
Yeah, don't
be looking for paying your bills and making sure you're okay first.
Don't spend the hotel money on merch. Don't spend your food money on fabric. Like,
please take care of yourself, and then you can cosplay.
Yeah. Yes.
I know it's fun, but it's good to budget. We'll put that out there. Budget. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't write that anywhere.
There's a reason we say this really, really emphatically in the 101, because I think we've all made this mistake before. Or have seen people who have made this mistake before, so.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I also like food, so I don't know.
Food is
love it.
Okay. My cheat sheet again. All right, cosplay etiquette. I know this is going to look like a boring slide, but it's very important to talk about because these are things that we've also learned, maybe unfortunately or fortunately, but it's just good to know these things. So cosplay is not consent. Don't just say no to cosplay shaming, like whether it's don't let people physically touch you, do not physically touch people unless you ask, and just don't talk bad about people behind their back. Like, it's just we're here to share the love and for fandoms that we all have. If you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say it at all. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Ashley.
Oh, I'm sorry. All body types / interpretations are beautiful.
All skill levels are welcome. You don't have to come out of the gate with a competition-worthy ball gown. Start where you are the most comfortable starting. It's important.
Be aware of real-world issues and be sensitive to them. This very much includes tanning or changing your skin tone to another one that exists in the real world for cosplay. You do not need to do it. It is not okay. Don't even. And be aware of what's happening in the real world. Just because it's a cosplay doesn't mean it's not real and doesn't mean it will not offend people. So
Very true.
Be
and
aware.
With that, use good judgment and just be kind to others, because one of the biggest things in this community is we all love each other. We support each other, and we learn together, we grow together, and if we're being kind, we're using our best judgment, we can do that in such a positive and great way. So just think about what you're doing and think about who it affects.
Like, just remember what cosplay means. Costume play. It's for fun. It's for
We're
fun.
gonna play in costumes. Come on.
We all want to play together.
And also,
In costumes.
So play nice with others.
yeah,
In costumes.
it's costumes.
We're adults in costumes.
We are adults in
We're adults
costumes.
Costumes. That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that went backwards. That was weird. I pushed a button. I apologize. There's like 20 buttons on my mouse. Okay.
How would you do that to yourself?
Okay. So, where do you start? Like, we're ready to go, right? You want to cosplay? Let's do it. So, personally for me, choosing a character or cosplay, like, firstly, I ask myself, like, do I love this character? I have to love the character. It kind of goes back to the don't part of, like, don't do something for attention. Yes, if you do a brand new character from Overwatch or whatever, you may go viral. But, like, I have made a character once because I thought it would be popular, and I was miserable. I hated every second of making the costume. It was terrible. I didn't learn anything. I, like, went backwards, honestly. So just do it because you love it. And that goes with, like, are you passionate about it? Because you're gonna be with this costume for a long time. It's gonna be your friend for a few months, potentially, unless you're really fast and you make it in like a week. But you're gonna be with this costume. And, like, are you comfortable wearing and making it? It is so weird to, like, pick a costume and then have to be like, wait, how do I wear this? How do I go to the bathroom in this? How am I going to store it? Like, you have to think of all those things before you make it. I have a lot of health issues, so I have to think of those things because I want to have fun still. So I got to make sure I'm going to be comfortable, or at least moderately comfortable, because sometimes it's not. And then also if I'm comfortable making it. It is always good to challenge yourself because it's really great to learn new things, but make sure it's a challenge that you're willing to confront and do, if that makes sense, like in your comfort zone kind of challenging way. Like, I don't want to make stilts. That's still, like, way outside my comfort zone. I don't want to work with metal, like, kind of, an example like that. And then, can I afford it? I bolded this because, once again, can you afford it? And that doesn't mean, like, can you afford it right now? It means, like, can I eventually afford it? I've been working on a costume for over a year now because I've been slowly collecting materials because I have this vision of what it's going to look like and I want it to fit that vision. So I keep buying electronics for it, like, every couple months because it's expensive for this particular costume. It doesn't have to be, just so you know. But that's just one good thing to know, is plan out how your expenses are going to be. Maybe spread it up over a few months. You don't have to buy everything all at once. Sales are amazing. So are coupons. Never go into a Joann's or Michael's without a coupon. And last but not least, just don't compare yourself to others. I'm totally guilty of this, but just don't. People are going to start at different places. Somebody could be brand new and make, like, a huge suit of armor, and you're like, oh my god, it took me 5 years into this to make that. It doesn't matter. Everybody learns and makes things at a different pace. So I know I just talked a ton, but, like, Ashley, what is, like, your process on, like, how you choose a character and, like, what goes into it?
I definitely have to be very passionate and love the character. And I've done a lot of like mashups and different things where people don't always necessarily recognize it right away, but I love wearing it and I have fun wearing it and I have fun making it, and so that's definitely very important. As far as like process of making it, I sit and I decide, okay, what materials am I going to need, like how am I going to go out building this. Sometimes I talk to other people about it, other people that do costuming, because you can definitely get some good advice from other people. Everybody does stuff differently. It's cool to learn different ways and then see what works best for you. But yeah.
Yeah. No, that is a great point of like what works best for you. I love my mother, and she hid from me for many years that she knew how to sew. But sometimes I bring a sewing project over and she's like, well, why'd you do it that way? And I'm like, Mom, this is just how I learned, and this is how I do it. So it's okay. If it works for you and it's not hurting you or anyone else, it's okay. Safety is important. We'll get in that later. But yeah, we also included some lovely family photos in here. Do not force anyone to do cosplay. I did force my mother to do this, but she had a fun time. And it was her first cosplay that she ever made. And we were Pia and Chandra Nalar from Magic the Gathering. And it was super fun.
That was my mom's first costume too. In that picture there of us as pirates. She loved it.
I got my parents to dress as Vlad and Sophie to match my Anastasia, and that's my friend's husband as Dimitri. So she lent me her hubby for the day, and I very much appreciated it.
Yeah, it's super fun. Okay. Sorry, I'm like totally just like, okay. All right, next slide. You picked the character, right? You got it in your head, in your little noggin. Okay, now what do you do? Like, what do you do now? I mean, what do you do? Sam, Hannah, like, tell me what you do.
All right. So first, character. First, you want to know how complicated is this character? How much time is this going to take me? Is this going to be a simple build, like, oh yeah, I could give myself a week or so, or like a crazy person, me, 2 days? But once, or is this going to be something that you want to spread across a year? Also, what does your space allow? Are you working in a dorm room? Are you working in an attic? Do you have a big old garage that you can keep something going at all times? You lucky people. So assess what your space is and how you can use it best to your abilities. So don't try and do a massive armor build in a tiny attic unless you're willing to live with that, literally like sleep next to that for months. Or giant ball gowns that can't be compressed. That's what I've done. So yeah, your space is very important, and time management. Don't stress yourself out about time management. And if you can't get it finished on time, don't just let it go. It's just a costume. Let it go. Let it go.
It's okay to bring it to a different event or put it on the back burner. No one's gonna yell at you for it.
Or if you don't have time, perhaps you know a friend who can do it.
Yeah. And then to expound upon that, we also have a bullet point here for maker spaces. That's always something to keep in mind. If maybe you wanted to use a 3D printer and don't have one in your space, maybe there's a local maker space that has one. And to segue that, you could also consider commissioning somebody. There are a lot of creators out there in the cosplay community who accept commissions for 3D printed items, foam armor, sewn goods. We don't always have our commissions open because, again, cosplay is for fun. A lot of us like to make sure we have time in our schedule for our own costuming, so respect that. But if a cosplayer or creator has commissions open, it might be worth it to reach out to somebody within your community that could create an element of your costume or your whole costume, so that you can really have fun when you cosplay. I think that's always a great piece of advice that it's good to reach out in the community and see if there's someone who could help you out with that costume.
It's okay to not make everything yourself.
Yes.
It's okay. Yeah. And on that note, but for the things that you do want to make, there's a ton of resources online. There are actual physical books out now. There are a lot of tutorials just floating around, Instagram, Facebook. DeviantArt is where I remember years ago. Like anybody else? Like
Oh
DeviantArt,
yeah, girl.
like
Oh
Chobits
my.
Near's tutorial. There was one that worked. Yeah, so like look up if you're trying to make something. Google it. Look up. See if other people have made it before. Maybe they've figured out a method that is a really nice hack that can make things easier for you, or they've made mistakes that you can maybe don't do this instead. Saves you time. So there's a lot of resources. Again, friends, do you know people who have done stuff? Like, if I needed details on I'd actually probably ask Hannah for like detail, like historical or opera style costumes. I would ask Hannah.
Or like if I needed to know exactly what kind of that shimmer tool you used for your Cinderella costume, I'd probably call you. It's
Called the Crystal Katana.
It's important to reach out to your community, and a lot of people are really open and excited to talk about the stuff that they make. So that's always a good source, and it's also a good idea to, when you are starting a costume, consider how you're going to acquire some of these items. So whether that mean I really need a brown skirt, maybe your friend has a brown skirt, maybe you have a brown skirt in your closet that you could alter or adjust so that it will work for your cosplay. There are great thrift stores locally. I'm sure you have one. You could also check an online resource, maybe something like Poshmark. I purchase a lot of things secondhand on Poshmark, especially boots that I then alter to use, because it's a lower price point and it's reduce, reuse, recycle. Am I right?
I haven't bought new shoes for cosplay in I think about 8 years.
Yeah. Your craft stores are going to have a lot of the things that you need. Joann's, again, don't forget your coupons. Michael's.
Too, yeah.
Yeah, like utilize those.
Look at wholesale stores online. Like
Yeah.
if you're that ambitious person that wants to tackle a big ball gown, and look online, like wholesalers, Fabric Wholesale Direct off the top of my head, like
yeah,
shop around.
Lots of great resources, both locally and online. So
and in your own home.
And in your own home, yeah.
Like if you need to do some highlighting on armor, and you need to there's the photo that's there. That is Silver Sharpie.
Yeah,
I believe.
Very useful. Also, things to do your mock-ups with. Maybe you have a sheet that has a hole in it and you were going to get rid of it anyway. It would make a great mock-up for that coat you're trying to make. There's always good ways to use things that are easily accessible.
Yeah. I wanted to also mention, too, because it just came to my brain when you were talking about where to buy fabric. Also, I actually bought a bolt of fabric with a bunch of friends because we were all going to be using it. So we just bought a bolt instead of each of us buying the yardage we needed, and it ended up being cheaper.
Buying in bulk is
choice. It was great. I do that chest piece, the one with the silver Sharpie on it, is a friend of mine, Kinsady Cosplay. She did that for Olivia Voldaren from Magic the Gathering. I wanted to throw out the credit there before I forgot, but I love it.
And I want to mention, with the cosplays, with the trio below, closet cosplays. If you had a goth phase, you have a closet cosplay. Just period.
Yeah, you do.
It's this character, but goth.
There's 3 different characters, and it's all closet cosplays from all 3 of us.
I love it.
Lady Duvessa, and I don't know the name of the other one. I wish I gotten her name, but that Marceline. Choice.
It's awesome. Boop. Okay, materials. We talked about it. So you picked a character. You kind of know where to start. Let's figure out what you need, what materials are out there, because I know when I started, I barely had a sewing machine, and I think I had a heat gun that I burned my carpet with in my first apartment.
Sorry, before we get too far, I want to say a quick correction. That's Anomalia on the previous photo.
Yes, you're correct.
Yes.
It is Anomalia.
I wanted to correct that before we got too far.
Thank you. Yes.
Because they are a fantastic human being.
They are, and you should follow them. They make amazing. I've also commissioned them.
See, credit your creators. Credit the people.
I paid Anomalia to do my makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See.
Ask your friends for help.
It's true.
Hire your friends.
They did my makeup that day
do
too.
It. We're all excited. Yeah, do it. Hire your friends. Do it. Okay.
Hire
support your cosplay community. That's honestly cosplay. That's what 101 is. The more support you have from your friends, the better your experience will be for your first costume. Just saying it now.
Yes, you are totally correct. Yeah, my spear back here, this was a child between me and Ashley. She sculpted the head of this, and then I went and molded and casted it, and now it is our child.
birthed that
Elspeth's
beautiful boy.
spear. We did. We birthed the beautiful boy. Okay.
Well, I mean, speaking of spear, we got to talk about material.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. How did you make said beautiful boy?
So
What did you do?
let's talk about our favorite subject, which is glue. Read safety labels. I'm going to start off with that. Why? Because glues and other sticky things are difficult, and they have very important safety things like wearing masks or don't mix them. We'll get to a couple in a few minutes about things not to mix. So rubber cement, it's a really awesome product. It's really great. Thank you. Or contact cement, that's another version of it, where you can do a lot of foam work with that. Fabric glue for people who can't sew well. Industrial Velcro for people who can't sew well. Gaffer tape. Do I need to say it a third time? But those are just some examples. There's hot glues. There's all varieties of glues. You will have cold. You will have hot. You will have some that heat up. You'll have some that cool down in weird ways. Literally every type of glue, everything you need to be safe with. You need to look at safety precautions, everything like that. Another great tool to have is a heat gun, because for foam specifically, it's how you seal foam before you have to put an actual sealer on the foam. And it's really great for bending and making things. It's a really great thing for bending foam and making different structures out of foam. Resin is the one that I'm specifically referencing when I say please read the safety precautions. Do not mix resin. I will repeat it. Do not mix resin. Why? Why would I say that? Because it can explode.
2 different types of resin.
2 different types of resin.
Specifically.
Yeah. Can explode. And have come close to doing it before in my garage. And Ariel has.
Didn't explode, but came close.
But that's the thing, is you have to be safe. With that, respirator, goggles, all the 9 yards of safety. But these are things that you can use, because you can also make armor out of paper and reinforce that with resin, and you now have a full armor set of real tough armor that is almost like concrete. So the next thing is about sewing, which I've clearly said I'm not good at. Hannah, you clearly, I'm gonna leave this part to you, because I don't.
Sewing. I love sewing. Been doing it a long time. I have a lot of sewing machines. I've run many in my life. This is a 101 panel, so I'm going to tell you what. If you don't own a sewing machine and you want to try it out, don't spend a bunch of money on a brand new sewing machine, because you don't know if you even like it yet. I always recommend checking again, thrift stores, Craigslist. People get rid of their sewing machines all the time, and they're great. My first sewing machine was a $90 Kenmore from Sears, and I loved that thing. I used it for years. I think that having a sewing machine is great. It's nice. You can like hem your own pants and stuff. I also recommend don't forget, your sewing machine is kind of like a car. Sometimes it needs to be tuned up. Don't forget to oil it or take it somewhere to get a nice little tune-up. That's just treating your machines nicely. I also own a serger. I really love my serger. I do. But you don't have to have one. I enjoy it. I work with a lot of stretch knits. I like having it, but you can achieve a lot of the same things with a serger on a sewing machine utilizing the zigzag stitch or other stretch stitches. I also like to mention what I use to put my pattern pieces together. Pins! Pins for fabric that can handle a pin. If your fabric is like leather or a coated stretch knit, use some clips. Yeah, you can see Mama Sammu's got a big box up there. Both these pins and clips, ones that can be specifically project specific. So, if you're working with stretch, maybe use a ballpoint pin, or just get a nice big box of generic ones when you're doing a big ball gown. But all of these items can be found at your local craft store or online at Amazon. These are from Amazon. But you can get them anywhere, and they're going to make your life a lot easier. there are a lot of tools that you can use in sewing. I've got a whole room full of them. There's one thing that's not on this list that I am going to mention. Get yourself a nice ruler. You deserve it. I like my 3-inch by 18-inch Dritz ruler. It is clear, so you can see what's going on underneath it, and it's a really solid tool to have in your toolkit. And get yourself a nice pair of fabric scissors. Use that coupon. I like Kai scissors or some Gingers, and just use it for fabric. Mark it. Mark it and say, these are my fabric scissors. I will not use them to cut paper. It's going to make your life easier. You're going to have a lot more fun cutting your fabric when your scissors aren't super dull. And
you won't hear the wails of the sewing grandmothers in your ears from using the fabric scissors on paper. I had to add that because
yes.
Don't you dare! And then beyond sewing, we can also get into some more exciting electronics. Again, as this is a 101 panel, don't be afraid to use electronics like twinkle lights that are just battery powered. I have some in my costume. They really add to it. They make it a lot of fun, and it's just easy to tuck that battery pack in your waistband, and all of a sudden your dress glitters. So who doesn't love that? So don't be afraid to start small with electronics and then get into some more detailed stuff.
Yeah, we also added on there 3D printing, because 3D printing is becoming way more widely available, and it's actually becoming a pretty, honestly, household thing. And it was mentioned before, makerspaces and commissions. You can 3D print full costumes. You can 3D print pieces of costumes. You can get even a piece to go on, a piece to go on this, to go on, down to the smallest degree. You can get something printed. And I forgot to mention it earlier, but all the glues that I listed and all the products, you can get those all on Amazon, local hardware stores. Most adhesives are there, so it's pretty easy. Or Joann's, again, coupons. Michael's, all those coupons are great. But 3D printing, since it's becoming a new thing, we decided to throw it on here because it's becoming way more accessible, and it's something that a lot of people are beginning to learn. And who knows? You might just happen to have a 3D printer lying around, and you can print yourself up a full cosplay.
Oh dang! I forgot my 3D printer in my garage. I totally forgot it was there.
I mean, how'd you forget it? I've been printing everything on it. I have a full cosplay out of it.
But yeah, don't forget you can ask your friends too. If your friends have things, be nice if they want money for the materials you're using. Do that. I have a friend with a laser cutter. I have frequently used it, but it was also under the impression that I would learn how to make my own vector diagrams, which was great. So with that, we have one more slide of materials that we're going to go through a little bit, just because these are things that have exploded over the years. I think when we all started cosplay, there was not as many things that were accessible, so we just want to kind of give you a nice condensed list of things that you can do research on. I'm going to talk mostly about the armor on here, so because I started as a seamstress and I decided I didn't like ironing, which made a lot of people angry, so I decided to start doing armor instead.
Watch us strangle.
Yeah, they're all like, ah! But foam versus thermoplastic. I don't like foam. I started with thermoplastics, which is Warbler or Thibra, Wonderflex. Thibra?
Yeah.
Thibra? However you say that word. It's Thibra.
It's smooth.
I mostly use with Warbler because it's very reusable and friendly in that aspect. My cat likes to chew on it, so keep it away from your pets. I like it, like I said, reusable, really easy to work with. The black armor to the left is all made out of Warbler. It also has a very long life. I have armor that is between 4 and 5 years old, and it is still kicking. I still wear it. It's in a box, and it's doing great. And it's really durable. I literally throw things on the ground to stress test them to see how long they're gonna last. But foam is totally fine too, though. I have wings that are foam because sometimes you have to be how heavy is this gonna be? How am I gonna transport it? Etc. So foam is cool too. I don't really like it, but if I had to buy foam, which I do work with occasionally. I'm a huge fan of the HG foam by SKS Props. We are not sponsored by any of these people we're talking about. We just want to give you the resources you need. So I highly recommend it because it's very easy to cut, super easy to work with, so easy to shape. I literally have like part of my She-Ra tiara here. This is all the HG foam, and it's just really pleasant to work with.
So even those who don't like working with foam can find foam
yes,
a good resource, a good material to work with.
And
it's a lot cheaper generally than Warbler, so.
Oh yes, so yeah,
for an entry level cosplay, it's definitely worth it.
It is. If you're not planning to like keep it around a long time or don't necessarily care about that longevity too much, foam is totally the cool way to go. Warbler, I highly recommend buying it at cosplaysupplies.com. That's where you're going to get the best price. You can get it at Michael's. Just only buy it when it's on sale because it is jacked up. I started hoarding Warbler now too, so I have a lot only because I've been hoarding it.
For years.
Yes, I buy it when it's on sale now. I'm like, I need it. But and I'll quickly talk about like the sealants, primers, and armor paints. I use general acrylic when I'm working with Warbler, but if you're using something that's going to flex, like foam, I really like the Plaid FX paint because it's flexible. Right there. Thank you. They also have a primer, which I tried to use as a sealer, but I didn't really enjoy it that much, so I don't recommend it as a sealer. But and just seal your armor paint too. It will not smell as bad, and it will not stick to other things, and it will last a really long time. Just as far as paint, do your research and decide what you like more, and see how paints mix with each other, and also like what's gonna flex. Those are the kind of biggest things. It's really a preference. And then I'll just quickly go into like, spray paint. Spray paint's cool too if you want to use it, but just know it'll crack. It will not flex.
And wear a mask.
And wear a mask.
In a well-ventilated area.
In a well-ventilated area.
Outside is good.
Outside.
Thank you. Safety first. And leather paint, you know what? I took the slides away from y'all. Here we go. The really weird picture of the pants up there is Angelus leather paint, which my friend is holding up. I buy it on Amazon. You can buy some leather paint at Michael's as well. It stretches. This is a stretch pleather, and I painted it on. You don't need a lot. If you spill half the bottle on your carpet, you can clean it up. Ask me how I know. But it's great. I love it. It's fine. So leather paint's awesome if you need to repaint things and it doesn't peel. And I even cleaned it off with like alcohol wipes because it works great.
It's good for shoes.
Yes.
Painting shoes.
On the other side, if you spill fabric paint on the floor, it's there forever. On the carpet, because it's there. That's there forever.
So if you need to spill a paint, let it be leather paint.
Leather paint.
Leather paint.
Fillable.
Yeah.
Cleanable.
Yeah. So on the of paint on fabric, painting on fabric is honestly a game changer when it comes to cosplay. I love using fabric paints. I use a lot of Tulip brand. They have mattes, they have textured ones, they have pearlescent and metallics. I used them on my Anastasia, and I was able to stencil a gradient in paint. Like, it's good stuff. So I definitely it's worth it to. If you're gonna use a paintbrush with it, you're gonna lose that paintbrush. Just telling you now. That paintbrush is dead now, but it's very, very, very useful. And again, leather paint is really good. I have also used it for things that are maybe not necessarily leather, but leather-like. Mm-hmm. So
Tulip also makes a spray fabric
yes,
paint?
they do. I use that for my Tolly, and it actually stretches like fabric paint. That's the one thing about fabric paint. It is flexible. That's the important part about it because it does not crack. Do not use acrylic on your fabric.
That's what I used for Winnie, and that spray Tulip, man, that stuff's flexible.
It's good stuff. Impressive. It's really amazing. So you've got your costume painted. What if your character is one of these, new fancy new D&D characters, or perhaps a character from an alien race that does not exist, and you need to body paint. You need to become blue or green or pink. You can do that, but do your research. Don't just slap on a body paint and be like, yeah, this will be fine. Do a test. Do your research. Do not, we have it specifically on here, do not use PAX paint. I have never used it, but apparently it is bad. Don't use it. My personal do not use is Snazaroo, just because I've seen the smearing and it'll never come off your clothes ever. So I personally will recommend, I like Mayron, I like Ben Nye and Cryoland. Those are all generally theater quality brands. They're all water based, and some of them have alcohol based counterparts. So like water based body paint, it's very easy to apply. You can just always do a test before con. Do a stress test, like put it on at the beginning of the day on your day off, and wear it around for a while and see what happens.
we work from home now. Just
Yeah,
wear it on you and then
exactly.
do all your Zoom
Like
calls.
now is the perfect time to practice the body paint cosplays. Like
Yeah.
seriously, now is the time. And it's the other option, if you're feeling ambitious, if body paint is something that you see yourself doing a lot, maybe an airbrush is for you. It's easier to use alcohol-based paints, which don't run when you sweat. So if you are someone who is particularly sweaty, that might be something to look into. Also, it gets a very smooth covering fairly quickly. I've been airbrush and but I myself do brushes, and I like both methods, but it's a lot easier to, not. I can't airbrush myself very well, so
I
it's a lot
airbrush my
easier.
own face, but that's it. That's it.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Yeah,
That's
so
hard.
yeah, it's don't be afraid. Just try it. It's worth it. And this is going to be my biggest point. Seal your paint. Seal your paint. Use powder. Use final seal. Use, if you are in an absolute bind, a plain hairspray will do the trick. Not got to be, but a plain hairspray. Do not use got to be on your skin. Don't do it. I did it once. Don't do it. But yeah, so yeah, hairspray. It works in a pinch, and if you don't, I will apparate in front of you, give you a lecture, and then spray you and powder you. That is. Seal your paint.
Goodness.
Anybody who lived through the Homestuck years in the anime conventions can attest to the frustration. So yes,
I will
I'm
add.
grateful for arm socks nowadays.
Oh
arm
my God,
socks are
yes.
wonderful.
I will add, not to plug myself, but we did a panel earlier on my Twitch channel about a very long one about makeup. So if you would like to visit my Twitch channel, which will go at the end of the slide, to rewatch that show or that video, the
VOD.
The VOD, please do. We've got a makeup artist guest on that goes into it. Also,
did both of us.
Yeah,
All three of us.
I think a lot of us, were on
Most
it.
of us, all four of
and
us, right?
Don't be afraid to just hire someone to do
Ashley?
your makeup if you can. I don't do my makeup anymore. I also have sensitive skin. I found out I had allergies, so it is very good to be safe. Test.
Always test.
Everything. All right, I want to make sure we're almost done and we're doing good on time. So let's move forward so we can get through all this awesome stuff. Oh, Pax Paint is meant for prosthetics, just so you know. You can use it for that kind of stuff. Just do not, like that picture.
Yeah.
Do not paint that much of you with Pax Paint. You will rub your skin off.
Don't use it for your face. It's meant for latex. Like it will not react to your skin properly.
You will cry. I will cry for you. I will apparate and cry for you. Okay.
We're just apparating everywhere.
Yeah, I know. So I'm going to hand this over to Ashley and Adam talking about cosplay mods. I personally do not do this because it takes a special kind of creativity that I do not have. So, Ashley, I think all of these are yours. So why don't you talk about it?
If you aren't ready to just build a prop for a costume, you can definitely find something at a thrift store or online and modify it. For example, in the pictures here, I bought that blaster for Princess Leia for $7 on Amazon, modified it, took me a few hours, and it looks amazing. The little corner picture with the pink gun, that was a squirt gun that I modified. Turned it into a bubble gum gun to survive the candy apocalypse. But yeah, it's super fun to just modify already existing things.
It's genuinely really easy too. Actually, in the next slide, you'll see a picture of my Percy gun, which I went to Walmart, found a really cheap Nerf sniper rifle, cut the barrel off, did a little bit of editing, and made it into a full-on, basically musket-esque rifle. It's super easy to do, and it's super cheap, because the nice thing is it doesn't have to just be props. You can go to the store, and this is another example. I went to a thrift store, picked up a leather jacket, cut the sleeves off, and painted on the back for a punk version of a Teen Titans costume. So you can do that with clothes too, or you know what? let's say you don't want to spend any money. Go in your closet, find an old shirt that you haven't worn in years, and you can turn it into anything. Or go find an old bed sheet, turn it into a toga, and then boom, you got a toga costume.
Have done that before. Legit. It works.
But you can use so many things just as they are, or you can kind of modify them with little things. And we talked about it earlier, if you want to get a little more advanced, you could also then use a 3D printer, print off an extra piece, add some little details, and boom, you have a brand new product. So
yeah, or if you have nieces and nephews, ask your sister or brother if you want some of those toys to disappear, and you can turn them into cool things.
Have you done that?
No, but I just thought of it because they have so many Nerf guns and squirt guns. Anyway, I just thought about that.
So every thrift store has Nerf guns.
I would argue that a Nerf gun is a lifelong toy, but maybe I'm wrong.
Agreed.
Look, I had to give mine up to a 4-year-old, okay?
I don't have a Nerf gun sitting at my desk, I swear.
Oh man. Did you guys want to add any more on this slide? I mean, it's just kind of like, I think there's a lot of good tutorials too about how to mod this kind of stuff too, right?
Yeah, you can also look it up online.
Also, I just want to mention as a side note, if there's a costume, a bot costume that is not quite right, but it's a really good base, like, okay, you've got the fabric base, but you want to build the extra bits, like, get that, and then you modify or change up pieces that you don't like. Sometimes it's worth it. The price of materials is worth it. So
yeah,
I think I've done that before.
It's okay to buy cosplays online.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's totally fine.
Totally fine.
If you want to do it.
As long as it's in your budget.
Exactly.
Y'all are gonna meet me in real life one day and be like, her. She's gonna force feed me a sandwich and talk to me about budgets.
She's gonna show me her budget spreadsheet.
What does it say about me with I've ruined with you for how many years in a row?
Just watch out.
My choice.
All right. Okay, we got a few more minutes, so let's wrap this up. We got 1.5 more slides, I'll call it. But yeah, oh my god, my computer's playing tricks on me. There we go. Okay. But your hair isn't blue. Maybe it is. Mine's not, and I don't want to dye my hair yet. I cosplay a lot of redheads. Anyway, and also we're talking about like contacts and stuff. So we're going to hand this over to Ashley and Hannah because I know Ashley's got a lot of contacts and I know Hannah's got a lot of wigs. So take it away.
I own a lot of wigs. I will make this quick. There are a lot of places online that you can buy wigs in a lot of different colors. Sometimes what shows up is not what you bought, and that's okay. Be prepared. Like, it's okay. What I will say about wigs, you can purchase wigs at a wide variety of price ranges all over the place. If you're looking for you're new to cosplay, you want to try something out, maybe try Amazon, see what you can find that's in your budget that might serve the purpose. Remember, you can always cut a wig. It's just fake hair, and that might get you where you need to be for your character. If you're like, well, I needed a short haircut in this turquoise color, but I only can find long wigs. Don't forget, scissors exist. I also there are a lot of different places you can buy wigs. Again, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies, but I want to shout out a few that I really like personally. I like to buy my wigs off Arta. When I can, you do their Christmas sale or if they do a Labor Day sale or whatever. There are a lot of good discounts you can get. I also really like IM style wigs. I have a widow's peak. When I wear lace front wigs, they need to have a widow's peak so that I can hide this. So I purchase them from IM style wigs. I also have a bigger noggin. They work better for me. I like pose wigs as well. I more recently have found them. Their wig density options are very cool. They're a little higher on the price range, but I like their products. But there's a ton. Epic cosplay wigs. There's so many. Wigs is fashion is one. Google. There's just so much more than there was on the internet 5 years ago when it comes to wigs. Google's your friend.
Another ancient shout out, Amphigori, back when that was the only option.
Yeah. Also, again, when you're choosing your wig, think about the kind of hairstyle your character has. If they have an updo, you're going to have to look for specifically updo wigs. If they have a certain part, you might want to look for a certain part. If they've got a really visible hairline, maybe you got to buy lace front. But again, there's a lot of different products and a lot of different price ranges there. When it comes to styling, just remember, when you style a wig, it becomes a little bit harder to wash a wig. Once a wig is styled, I generally say leave it in that style. You can change it, but again, this is 101. So when you style a wig, it is not real hair. Please remember to check if it is heat resistant before using any hot tools. It does not behave the same as hair that grows out of our heads. So they are small plastic fibers. I use a steamer to do my wig styling. So if I have a straight wig that I want to be curly, I set all the hair and curlers and then I steam them. And then I let them cool all the way down, and that is what's going to change the shape of the hair follicle, the fake hair follicle. And also, if your hair is short or you're not that far off from the look that you want, consider using temporary hair color. There's pastes that you can buy now that are kind of wax, like hair wax. You can put spray in your hair with a toothbrush that can kind of help it look not quite so much like you sprayed something on your head. Or I've also used clip-in extensions before to like make my hair thick like a princess. If you can get extensions in the same style or the same. He's going for it.
Going for it. He is going for it.
But if
do
you
it.
can get extensions in the same color as your natural hair, oh, so good. Or adjust your hair color. You can also consider doing that, or take a page out of Ariel's book and just cosplay your hair color, just for fun.
Because I'm lazy.
They get into a Mollymawk cosplay with this,
Well, and we started this whole thing by complimenting Ashley's bangs, y'all.
Oh, it's true.
Clip-in. You could get little hair pieces. They make ponytails, all kinds of different things. If you just need to change your hair up just a little bit, But yeah, I didn't want to cut my bangs for quarantine, even though I needed to change. So clip-in ones, got them off Amazon, $20. Match my hair color and everything. I even actually got some for some of the wigs that I have too, for fun. But I'm going to move on to contacts and talk a little bit about the contacts. There's a million different wig companies. There's a ton of different contact companies. You just got to make sure that you're getting them from companies that are safe. Definitely
check with your doctor.
Check with your doctor. You definitely want to make sure that if anything feels uncomfortable in your eye, maybe don't wear it. Definitely soak the contacts in the case in solution before, at least for 24 hours before you put them in your eye, to avoid the burning and whatnot. But yeah. Oh, I like Unique-So and Honeycolor are companies that I get contacts from, and I wear them for like everyday use and for cosplay, so they're very comfortable.
Yeah. I know contacts can be really scary. I'm totally going to jump in here like a butthead, but they can be scary because there's a lot of horror stories out there, but understand they come from very random things sometimes. Most of them, not all of them. Most of them can come from very random things, either not checking with your doctor. It's mostly important for the shape of your eye. That is the important part. And then also they don't put it in the solution, so they go, oh no, it burned. Well, it's because the stuff that they soak in when they arrive are not meant to go in your eyeball. Or particularly, I'm super paranoid now when I room with people, so I always leave my lenses in their own little case and in a drawer, in the closet until I'm ready to put them in. Because if you're in a room with a bunch of people, which is cool, when we're back to cons and we're all safely hanging out, it's gonna happen. Someone's gonna spray the crap out of their hair with some hairspray, and those follicles, those little molecules that come off the hairspray or the color or whatever they're using, can get on the container of your lenses, and then so when you go to touch it, they're on your fingers now, which then go to your lens to your eyeball, and now they're glued to your eyeball. I'm not saying this to scare you, it's just safety. It's an accident.
Wash your hands and cleanse, you overuse that eye wash. Overuse it. Just
be safe. It's not that hard. Just be safe. All right, so we got 5 more minutes, so I'm going to go to our last slide, and then we're going to review on how to find us all. So, you're ready to cosplay. That's my nephew. He's adorable. If you're familiar with Destiny, he's Zer. So he handed out chocolate strange coins. He's ready to cosplay.
Ready. Any age, you can be ready.
It's true.
Ready.
We're just gonna reiterate some points. Proper etiquette, whether it's in the convention hall or just against other human beings, just be a good person.
Or online.
Or online, yeah, don't be a butthead.
Photos, whether it's in the hall at a convention or with friends, there's lots of opportunities to have fun and get photos of your costumes that you worked so hard on.
Social media. Social media is a great way to connect with other cosplayers, especially if you're new. It's a good way for you to connect, but you by no means have to have any form of social media to have a good time cosplaying.
And always respect others, respect your fellow cosplayers, respect the con staff, respect people online. It's golden rule. Treat others how you want to be treated. Also, no, treat others how they want to be treated. Is actually the better one from what I understand. And just respect, be nice. We want to all have a good time together.
Pay attention and know the convention rules. That's a huge one because these cons are just trying to keep you safe. Every con has different rules, has different standards. So make sure before you go to a con, just take a quick look at the rules. Most of them are pretty much the same, but you know, you never know. It could be something a little different in each one.
True. And also, like, give credit when credit's due. If you commissioned a piece and someone's asking about it, totally let people know, like, where you got it. Or if it's just, like, where you got your wig from. Like, tell people. Give credit. Or if you come back from a photo shoot and you're posting those photos online, definitely give credit to the photographer and your makeup artist because they also worked really hard.
And then self-care. Make sure that you're drinking water and you're eating, taking care of yourself. Make sure you're comfortable.
And then on that note, also, it'll make you a little more comfortable if you have a tiny emergency repair kit with you. I always like to say, bring a couple safety pins. If you have stuff, bring some super glue. Super glue is helpful. Maybe some duct tape, just in case. I have like a mini roll of duct tape that I bring around. Or maybe your costume is a specific thing that it might need a repair on.
Spare batteries.
Yeah, a battery.
Electrical tape.
Electrical tape. It is never a bad idea to just have a little backup because cons are long and accidents happen. I always bring a needle and thread with me. I can't not.
I literally try and match a purse or a backpack to my costumes, even if the character doesn't have it, just so I can carry stuff.
Take some of that excess fabric and just make a bag.
Seriously.
I guess we don't have it on here. Pockets, just the two.
Pockets.
Put a pocket in your cosplay. Put a pocket in. If I can put it in a ball gown, you can put it in yours. But I guess the last note is have fun. Have fun. It's all about having fun. We're all nerds. We're all people dressing up in costume. Most of us are adults dressing up as cartoon characters. We're here to have fun.
From our childhood.
Love each other.
That's true. So true. Oh my gosh. So this is great. Now we have a couple minutes to go over. Sorry, my nephew's just so adorable. I have to look at him for one more second.
So cute.
Okay. He's not that young and cute anymore. He's older now. I mean, he's still cute, but he can't wear that anymore. My sister's going to kill me after she watches this.
Toddler in a cosplay.
She's going to be like, how dare you? Okay, sorry. Why is my thing not going to the next slide? Oh, I don't know. Oh wait, it's not a slide. I made a thing. Hang on. Wha-bam! There we go. I got it. Okay, so we're gonna go over again and just talk about where you can find me. So I'm Bubbles Cosplay. Pretty much, if you search Bubbles Cosplay, you'll find me everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch are the go-to best places to find me. Like I said, I Twitch weekly. I guess that works. I stream Twitch weekly. If you like magic and cosplay and Guild Wars 2, watching someone bad at PC games, come hang out. We're super duper chill. Ashley. Oh wait, I guess I wrote them out of order. Oh no. Hannah, you're next. Where do we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Miss.Tyo, and that's Tyo. That's where I post most of my work in progress and my finished work. I have a Persephone photo shoot that I'm just dying to share with you all, so that's coming soon.
Sam.
Yay, because I didn't know who was next. I am Momma Sammu on pretty much everything. My mains are Instagram and TikTok and Twitch, which I stream 2 to 3 times a week. I stream cosplay and some gaming, and yeah, I do all that fun stuff. And I'm a ball gown addict, so if you like to see ball gown stuff, come by.
And Adam.
Oh, it's me next. Okay, cool. Mr. Mraddup, literally everywhere. MRADDUP. You can find me on any social media under that tag. I also stream on Saturdays on the Welcome In, which is a D&D channel that started from Twitch, and it's a lot of Twitch streamers. It's really fun. And yeah, I if you want to see my crazy adventures of doing 3D prints and creating too much 3D models, come join.
And Ashley.
And I'm Ashley. Ashleyplaysdressup on Facebook, and Ashley the Jedi on Instagram. I am definitely more active on Instagram. But yeah.
Cool. And we're at time. So I really appreciate y'all for coming out. Please feel free to follow. Give us a follow. Give us a poke. We're pretty nice people. Not a physical poke, a digital poke, please. But we'll see you all later. I love you all so much. Thank you.
Wear your masks. Be safe. We love you.
We love you guys. Thank you.